we'll see how that goes. If the judge does revoke the bond, we will obviously give you an update on that. I want to talk about this, man, because I sent you the video earlier. We didn't put it on the script, but the Army lieutenant I sent you earlier, today, Lieutenant Caron Nazario, who was Black and Latino, is suing over an incident pretty much where two officers ran up on him, pulled him over for a traffic stop, pulled out the guns on him, pepper sprayed him, assaulted him, damn near almost killed him, was ready to light him up. And we saw the exchange. If you could watch the video, you could see that, it showed, the guy pretty much saying he was a lieutenant. He said he was scared. He pretty much surrendered. He had his hands up. Like, what more do you want? But the cop continued to be aggressive. The cop continued to spray him with pepper. And the cop only was fired. One of the cops, I don't know what the young cat, they didn't say nothing, but the cop, Gutierrez, I think that's his last name, probably saying that wrong. You know what I mean? He was fired from that post. But what do you think, man? First, the video, I honestly, the video almost brought tears to my eyes because it hurt more than it even made me angry. But what do you think about that video and the punishment for the police officer?
I thought we appreciated the troops and we love the troops. It's only good when we got the flag up and we trying to disrespect niggas, that's right, or brothers and sisters, right? That's when it's cool, right? Nah, man, when you look at the video, Black and Latino, brother, I'm Black and Latino. That could have been one of our cousins. That could have been one of our family members sitting here in his uniform. And we talking here about the rhetoric of respecting our officers ad nauseum. You would think that even in a routine traffic stop, when these officers approached an officer in the military, a lieutenant,
right,
that he would be approached with some sort of respect and seeing if it was a misunderstanding or that situation should have ended peacefully. But for some reason it didn't. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the lieutenant came at him a little bit disrespectfully and abrasive, got a little mouthful.
Right.
He's an authority and an officer himself. I wouldn't expect any different. Should they have kind of
lieutenant,
exactly,
top of the line.
You can expect maybe some attitude. Right. Wouldn't they kind of still deserve some sort of respect for them to get out of that situation peacefully, given the respect that we have for our military officers for fighting for our freedom that we hear ad nauseum in this country? And we see the blatant hypocrisy behind it. He was sitting there, this fat, out of shape, looking like an old fucking casino security supervisor and shit, spraying pepper spray at a dude that has his hands out in his military uniform and obviously, for all intents and purposes, is waving the white flag.
Right.
I'll do whatever I want. Just tell me why y'all doing this. And look, and I'm telling, I'll do what you want. Just tell me why you're doing it. And it's embarrassing. This happened in December. Mm-hmm. And let's call this a spade, because we got a new president on our hands. And the new president was supposed to change some of this shit. Wasn't that what the campaign was ran on? We're going to get this racist Trump out of here and make America great again. People that's letting these cops get away with the murder of young black individuals with no justification or no punishment at all. We just going to let this happen? And Joe Biden said looting is not tolerated. It shouldn't be done. Same old guy.
Right. And you look at like the younger cop, I forget his name, but when the dude, the Army lieutenant, the black Army lieutenant that was pulled over said, look, I'm in the Army. He said, I'm in the service too. Something like, he kind of like, you would have thought that would be like, all right, that's my brother. He turned up even more and told him he's going to get the rod of lightning on his ass or some shit he said. Some crazy shit that he said. And then when you go look at more of the context, I watched another video. They had like this guy, a former police officer. He was a black guy. He was saying that from the jump, they called it a felony traffic stop when it never was a felony traffic stop. They said what happened was he didn't have a license plate on the back, but it was up in the window. So they pulled him over falsely for the felony traffic stop. He drove a little bit, continued because he wanted to get to a well-lit area. So they pulled up and shit all crazy because of that, because of no license plate and shit. Crazy.
And he didn't try to speed off or try to get away. He just kind of.
You got the right to do that, if I'm not mistaken. Go to a well-lit area. He was scared. I believe he was fucking scared. Yeah. I would have been scared in that situation.
And he's smart. He ain't dumb.
All the guys have been killed like shit. Like you come out the car with your hands up, pop, 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 pop. Like what the fuck? I'll be scared too.
And yo, you ever been pepper sprayed?
Nah, but it looked like it was. He couldn't breathe.
Sucks,
man.
I remember. I gotta tell this story. I remember I was in the casino. I was in the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City, working at Haven, and we was having a good fucking time. I was a bouncer in there. We was doing our thing, and it was this group of brothers and sisters. They was doing their thing, having a good time. Make a long story short, One of them got too drunk. They were trying to get him out. Security at the time did not understand how to deal with black folks, so it got hot, it got rowdy. And then we got security in there. We got floor security in there from the casino. Supervisors, every supervisor in there got their mace out, scared to death. Not only are they scared, but they trigger happy. And the second somebody get emotional, we know how to talk. A black person, a brother could get in our face that's angered and hyped up and kind of talk to us like this and rip. And we know it's not a threat because we understand the emotion that come behind black folk. They get scared to fucking death and they sitting like this. Phew. And they started lighting them up. So I got my suit jacket. I'm trying to wipe the fucking shit out their eyes. And it's sweating and getting into my eyes. And then they sprayed like randomly and it got into my eyes. It got into another security guard's eyes. That shit, like, open some hot sauce up, mix with some bleach and throw that shit directly in your eye. And that's what it feels like.
And with that being said, though, do you think that the cop should be charged with a felony assault as opposed to just being fired? Because you assaulted this dude for no reason. You threw hot sauce and pepper spray in his face. You pulled out a gun on him. Don't we think it should be a little bit more here than him just getting fired? I think it should be criminal charges, right? With that being said.
If one of us pepper sprayed a military high-ranking officer,
right?
Shit, the military might be taking us up on charges.
Oh, yeah, easily.
So what's up? What's up?
Damn.
What's up?
Damn. And they also said that they tried to cover it up. They tried to tell him, like, if he said anything about it, they would get him fired from his military job. It went deep.
It happened in December, so I believe it. And it wasn't until a leaked video came out to the motherfuckers got fired. And they still be sitting there doing shit.
And he's only suing for $1 million. I'm like, all right, dog. Like, I get it. He look like he's a real humble dude. Anyway, like, he ain't really trying to, it ain't really about the money. It's about what happened. But I'm going for 50, 100. Like, I'm trying to break your fucking pockets for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You should be fucking locked up.
Yep.
And all you're going to do is get fired here, probably move a few states over, and be in the same job somewhere else. And that's the thing about the police force, man. I don't think it could ever change because the way it was built and the type of people they're hiring, for one. You can change the structure of things, but they continue to hire these same type of people, man, that don't know how to deal with people. And I think it just needs to be a better, like, evaluation of the type of people. You shouldn't have somebody who's on a hair trigger. You got everything. You got the training, you got the gun, you got the taser, you got the bulletproof vest. Like, fuck you, man. My life is valuable too. Like, you ain't the only one that can't get fucking killed out here, man. Neither. I want to go home to my family too, man. Fuck that.
And you know what the crazy thing is? We don't got any allies in that situation because we all a threat. We scared to death. We scare everybody. It goes back to the childhood, the little league shit. We just scare them. They're automatically intimidated. And the brothers and sisters, unfortunately, that try to get on the police force, they got to work so hard to act like they're not black, to prove that they're not black. They go above and beyond to fuck us up and fuck around with us too. It's a double-edged sword, man. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I don't know what to say about it.
And I hope that, I understand we're going to have probably cops that watch this. And there are probably some good cops out there, man. Black, white, and all that. I definitely agree with that. But are you going to go against the grain? Probably not.
Yeah.
So how can I call you a good cop if you're not going to go against the grain? You see all this shit happening all the time. You turn the fucking other cheek. You turn the fucking other cheek, man.
I talked to a cop that I used to go to high school with. He's a DC cop often, and I would love to get him on the show. He would have to do it anonymously because he's still in the force. And he tells me things that he's sick about often. And I joke and I talk to him about it. And I don't know if he wants to come on the show because I know he understands we go there and he'd have to answer some tough questions. Now, I know he's open and honest about how he feels.
Right.
So I don't think that he'd have a problem with it. And of course, he'd be anonymous because we ain't going to risk the dude brother's job. But he's a white dude, and it would be interesting to talk about in D.C.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
And he said sometimes it hurts to put on that uniform and go out there because all he wants to do is feed his family. He grew up around blacks, Latinos, Asians, some of his best friends. You know what I'm saying? He grew up in a household and ate their mother's food and stuff, and he just wants to do his job and go home. And he's saying these motherfuckers get their head blow off. He went on record and said Chauvin out in Minnesota needs to get life in prison for the safety of the rest of the officers out here. He needs to do life in prison for murdering that man. He said they did often like training and they watched that video 10, 15 times saying you never do this. And he went deep with me. So I would love to see him say that shit on air. We'll see.
Yeah, even with that trial, man, like we will see what's happening. Another person got shot. We'll probably talk about that more tomorrow with David Banner. But somebody else got shot in Minnesota again. So this doesn't change no matter the face, no matter you got a black president, a white president, a lesbian president, a transgender president. None of this changes, man. It's like it's a perpetual cycle of oppression in America that has to be addressed. And until it's addressed properly, until the people stand up properly, we'll continue to see this happening.
Indeed, man. Well said. Let's transition, man. I want to talk about Quando Rondo real quick, man. Yeah. So November 6th, he got into it with King Von, and that led to King Von unfortunately being murdered that evening. A lot of people gave Quando Rondo a lot of criticism for that. He sat down with Angela Yee. It looked like in a Maybach. Shit looked nice as hell. And he went there with her a little bit. Like, I didn't think so before. So shout out to Angela Yee for doing the interview. But let's hear what Quando Rondo had to say real quick and get our thoughts.
It's like I had an out-of-body experience. You feel me? As soon as I got hit, like, man, I put this on my dead grandma Terry grave, man. I'm like, man, I swear to God on everything I love, man. I'm like, man, I think about this shit every day. Like, nobody know, like, what I went through. Like, somebody else would have panicked. Man, it's like, I don't know, like it's like the devil was coming to get me. Like, it's like my soul, like I can't even explain it, man. Like, it's like my soul left my body and I was up in the air. And I was just looking down, watching myself, all that, just watching everything going on. Man, I swear to God. I said, Lord, please let me make it home. Right. I come from praying people. Now, I know, like, come on, man, no matter what I do in life, nobody too good to be close to God. I don't care how much of a killer you is, how much of a rich person you is, how much of a big dog you is, how much of a stand-up dog person you is. Like, it don't matter. Anybody could be close to God, and I pray a lot. Even though I do what I do, like, even though I know I ain't living all the way right, nobody perfect. We human. I still pray to God. I'm like, Lord, please, like, just on some out loud screaming jive, like out of body experience type jive, like, Lord, please let me make it home. It's like everything went back normal. And I've been back down. All I know is I look up and I see my partner on the ground. You feel me? Shot up. So I'm like, he shot. He shot. Like, I'm like, he shot, y'all. Like, I'm screaming out, my partner shot. Because, mind you, he got shot 4 times that exact night. And a couple months before that, like, with a couple incidents happened in my hometown, he been shot 5 times. Wow. Like, this man, I took 9 bullets. Right. You feel me? 5 times a couple months before the incidents, 4 times that night. And there were other shootings going on in that. Man, there was so many people shooting, man. If you was there, you wouldn't even. If you was there, you would be hurt from everything that's going on because nobody really knows. You feel me? I see my partner shot up. Like, a lot of people saying that I was trying to take bro chain. Like, ma'am, this like being in Afghanistan and 2 soldiers shooting it out with 2 other soldiers and a bag of money in the middle of the ground. Ma'am, you think people in the middle of a shootout, you think so many bullets flying, you think people think about that bag of money? Last time his manager checked said he didn't even think he had a chain on that night.
I would stop it there. I was going to give respect to Angela and let her hear her question real quick before we go on. Okay, what you think, man?
I kind of don't know what to think.